Today I'll be reviewing DC Universe Classics Green Arrow. Now, Green Arrow is a pretty nice figure. I'm actually re-reviewing this guy for Toys 210's contest for What's Your Favorite Figure. Now, this guy is actually my favorite DC figure for paint-wise, as well as sculpt-wise. And another thing I do like is that I really do enjoy Green Arrow. He's one of my favorite characters out there, and he really got me into collecting comics when I bought his Showcase Presents Green Arrow Volume 1. Unfortunately, they never made a Volume 2, but they were really cool, and the stories were short because they were just add-ons from old titles, but that's fine, whatever. And I kind of liked that, because then I could read like 4 or 5 Green Arrow stories in a one sitting, in like half an hour sitting, so that was pretty nice actually. Then I don't have to go through like a whole 6-part story arc like modern stuff. So I really do prefer when they do 1-part stories. But first off, let's look at the accessories. First off, we have the boxing glove arrow. Now, the boxing glove arrow is a nice arrow. You can see all the nice little paint detail. There's the gray on it, red throughout, and then you can see the gray lace on it. And then this is a metallic green up top, and then a metallic in the middle, which looks to be it's just a silver metallic, and then green feathers. That continues on all of them. So very nice paint apps on these. This one looks to be like a rope arrow where it can tie around someone or something to that extent. Very similar, just the little beads on there. The next arrow, I'm going to say my second favorite arrow for last. I really like the boxing glove arrow, just because that's a classic Green Arrow. Is this one. Nice green feathers on there, and then the same thing. And this one looks to be a net arrow, like this pops out, and then these 4 things fly over the crook or whatever. He didn't use trick arrows much in this costume, but that's fine. And my second favorite arrow, my favorite colored arrow, I should say. Now, this thing is very nice. It has the nice feathers, then the silver, and then it goes to a nice metallic green. But there's literally the little black thing, and then there's little circles, and it says like 00.0. So this is like a bomb arrow. That's very cool in my opinion. Very nice. I haven't seen, like, DC Direct probably wouldn't have even put that in there, so I'm very impressed by that. And then we have this, which is a little disappointing. The arrow on it's nice. I think it's just the exact, yeah, it's the exact same thing, same size. It's just this melted on there, so there's nothing to talk about on the arrow, which might I add looks a little nice. One complaint I have is the arrows are really short, though. Like, if you look at it next to Oliver Queen's arm, it should probably be the length of his arm at least, but it only probably goes from the bottom of his hand up to that top of the green thing. They're short arrows, but you could say that maybe he has a smaller bow, but now he's using a long bow, and usually arrows should be about half the size of a bow, and you can see it's only about a quarter of the size. But the bow is nicely colored. It has the nice similar traits. Like, this is a more woody color. It's even a little different than the color right there and on Oliver's suit. But, pretty nice there. But the unfortunate thing is the arrow's welded into there. You can't pull it off like in the newer Artemis. And this is my one complaint about, the accessories, which I love, and they would be the best accessories in the line. Like, they're not, like, lined up like an arrow should be right there. Rather, they're in the middle like this. And I wouldn't mind this trait if, like, this string was pulled back here and on that, and then I couldn't use these arrows, but life goes on because you can put them around Green Arrow, and it looks like maybe he was going to shoot him later or something, or maybe he just dropped him, or what have you, whatever you want to do with that. But, this just doesn't look normal. It's not in the start. The only pose I can really see you doing is putting it in Green Arrow's hand, and then putting Green Arrow's hand here, like he's just putting it on, and then he's about to, like, slide it forward. But then that really hinders it. Like, if you want to do a display with Green Arrow, Green Arrow's basically stuck to making his next arrow and not in a dynamic fight pose. Another unfortunate thing is on the back, you got this nice quiver loaded with arrows, which means, of course, you can't put these in there. I don't know which I would prefer. I really like how this looks. Although I don't like how there's no paint detail on there. They could put all the silver on there, but they put in so much paint detail on the figure already that they shouldn't waste their money on something like that, probably, and it looks just fine to me. But it's kind of a bummer that they didn't maybe add like another row or take out a row that you can put these arrows in. but you could never fit the boxing glove arrow in there. But I suppose you could put like this arrows in his hand, and then like the bow is right next to him. Like maybe the bow is broke or something. I don't know. But let's get on to the figure. Now the skin tone is my favorite skin tone for any figure almost ever. It beats DC Direct skin tones, like the Atom is super pale. It beats any DC Universe skin tone up to this time and even to now from what I know of. Like here's an example. Marvel Legends Daredevil. Pretty nice figure, not the best figure ever, but look at the skin tone. That is not a good skin tone. That is a weird pale that just doesn't look normal. This is a very nice, lively skin tone with even some little burst of white in there. And I know this looks still cartoony enough to fit with DC Universe Classics, while Marvel Legends always wants to be very colored in and look realistic, even though they are kind of a cartoonish line. Which I do like that in Marvel Legends. That's why I like Marvel Legends, but I like DC Universe Classics because they're uniform. They have one body type tweaked size-wise, and of course they have the women body. But, I mean, like, one main body look. They all have the same colored skin. They're all very cartoony. Now, if you want very Marvel Legends-ish, this is very different. And I think the lines are very different. If DC Universe Classics was trying to copy it, then they would have put more articulation in it, and they would have tried to paint it. And then I don't think DC Universe Classics would be as successful, because I believe that they're trying to be their own line. I know a lot of it's taken, like the Bass and stuff, but once they got on their feet, it really was just based off Marvel Legends. But they really took it somewhere else, in my opinion. But as you can see, very nice. There's a different color of dark green and green. The green throughout is the same. It's a little darker up top, but if you can notice this, you probably can't even notice it. It's barely noticeable and off camera, but you can see the mask is a really dark green, and then this is a slightly lighter green, and then this is like a turquoise. So, that's really cool, I think, how it's not all exactly the same, because this would probably be leather, while this would probably be like a kind of a thicker fabric, and then this would be probably rubber or some assortment of that. So that's really cool, I think, and I really like all the green on him. So I really do enjoy the paint apps on this guy. The only real problem is on the lower arm, it bleeds, or on the lower upper leg, I should say, it bleeds a bit, and it bleeds a bit right here, but no bleeding on these other ones, so that's pretty good, actually. Another complaint is that this joint is turquoise, but it's actually, I think I would enjoy that more than peach, because it would look weird to have like a peach splotch in there, so it doesn't really bother me at all that they did that, because it doesn't carry throughout, and so yeah. But, like, this is green, and then it goes into a green, and that's something Marvel Legends would probably do, but it doesn't bother me, because, even with the cartoony stuff, because, well, it's not as noticeable as, like, getting colored throughout there. I actually kind of like it more. I think it works quite well. And this figure doesn't have too much articulation, but it doesn't really need it. Well, too much compared to, like, Marvel Legends and stuff. I'm really comparing the two lines in this review. But head is on a ball joint. Arms are on ball joints. Swivel at the upper arm. Bend at the elbow. Ball jointed hands, which they only gave to this figure. I don't think they had very many early on. I'm looking at my Wave 9 figures, and they all have swivels. But I think they did that just because the bow and arrow. So I really appreciate that they did that. Jointed elbow. Also, might I add that this is actually a separate piece to the thing. This isn't removable, but this is movable. So they didn't make it sculpted on. That's really cool, I think. Just added a little more realism, and there's no articulation that would hinder, so that's also really cool. Abdomen is on a DC Universe abdomen. Lower abdomen swivel. Leg is on a T joint. Swivels at the mid-leg, and then bends at the knee, and then there's a foot joint, and then I believe there might be a small ankle pivot in there, but very nice. Green Arrow, definitely my favorite figure, not just my favorite DC Universe Classics figure. It's just great paint apps, probably the best paint apps on any figure almost ever. The sculpt is nice, so they added all those little lines throughout. The belt is very nice, this is actually bumped up. Very nice. The straps This is just like my favorite figure ever. Comes with tons of cool accessories. The only downfall is right here, but it comes with so many other cool accessories. The bow is a big thing on there, but if you have a bow like this, which actually broke, it was a really sucky bow that I tried to fix. I got this with a New Frontier Green Arrow. If you could somehow fix it, I kept trying to hot glue it, or I glued it, tried to burn it together with a lighter, but nothing really works. It just breaks after 4 seconds no matter what you do. This broke directly out of the package, so it's not a very good bow at all. But if you could get a bow like this, for example, I don't know why I had this out. I was just grabbing my arrows because these are all in my parts bin. If you had a bow like this, you could probably do it like that. Although these are a little small for this specific bow, but that's fine. Also, you have other DC. I also got this with their New Frontier, which is actually pretty cool. But that's besides the point. The accessories are awesome. Besides the bow, as I said, paint apps are basically, I'll say it, the best DC Universe Classics paint apps. Very few wear, very little wear, and I've had this guy for probably almost a year and a half now. Just very nice articulation. Actually better than most DC Universe Classics. Has almost the exact same articulation as this Daredevil right here. It's just my by far favorite DC Universe figure. I know this review was long for having no package, but I'll have to give Green Arrow, obviously, a 10 out of 10. He's my favorite figure. Awesome. Definitely DC Universe, that if you can't buy it, try and get it on a lot online or something. Just try and buy it All-Star Edition, try and buy it Wave 9, try and even get the Red Arrow and the Green Arrow from Wave 20 if you can't find those, because those are only like 15 bucks on Amazon. I'm definitely going to pick those two up to go along with this guy, and as I said, 10 out of 10, that's all for today, guys. Also remember to subscribe, and subscribe to Twiz210 as well, and congratulations on your new subscriber number. So, good job.